Hello, hello, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV. Here we go. Gonna talk to some folks. You got a bunch of Charlians wearing late Allegan sets that you can get in PvP for some reason. I really don't know why. Guess to make them look more futuristic and spaceshipy. Granting us eyes to see the truth. Yeah, one woman's truth. Dear God. Oh look, we got a ton of people we can talk to before we talk to Fortunal. No, I don't want to talk to minor character number 47, who just showed up this expansion, and is now standing on ceremony with all these other characters who've been around for eons, that they never bothered to flesh out appropriately. Dude, imagine being Hori Boulder and Coltonette. Like, they've been through everything the Signs have been through, at least, you know, like, in a general sense. Like, you know, they got driven out of the Rising Stones by the Crystal Braves. They were wanted fugitives just like all of us, but, like, they're not considered really that important, so, like, we don't ever get to see, you know, how life went for them after that. We just got to kick their ass that one time, that one solo instance back at, like, 2.3 or whatever. Neat. We're gonna get teleporter beams. That's cool. Cool. I don't know if it's gonna have us talk to everyone again as a lead up, so I'm just trying to catalog this, you know. This is the pinnacle of ethereal chemistry, a synthesis of modern innovation and the wisdom of ancient wisdom of Alec. Yeah, okay. Alright, here we go. Cutscene time. 4 minutes. 4 minutes of talking to NPCs. Reading their dialogue carefully. Got the A team and the B team. No, I'm kidding. They're not even the B team. They're just like the random assortment of folks that I guess the story writers thought we should see and think about for some reason.
All present and accounted for? Good. As you will have heard, the Ark is ready. All that remains is to board and be on your way.
I've seen my fair share of tight schedules, but this was bloody murder. But we did it. We finished the ship. It's safe, fit for purpose, and looks good to boot. Aye. It's a Garland through and through.
I'm still not used to his new voice actor.
I really don't know what we'd do without you. Thank you for everything.
Ah, don't mention it. Ever since that episode with Omega, I've been toying with the idea of star-faring vessels. And as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. We've learned a lot, let me tell you. In case you're wondering about payment, the ongoing existence of the world ought to do. But feel free to throw in a colorful recounting of your journey on your return.
Nero gonna speak at all?
So, have you thought of a name?
A name? Wasn't everyone just calling it Father's teeny tiny toy boat?
Well, seeing as its purpose has changed, I thought a more eloquent name was in order. I suggested as much to Fortuno, who seemed quite amenable to the idea.
As you know, this vessel is the culmination of heretofore unprecedented collaboration. And though said collaboration is owed to the Scions, there is another whose noble deeds made our work possible. From a fragment of Dalamud, we obtained not only advanced materials such as refined adamantite, but the knowledge to traverse the stars. And this fragment would not have found its way to us had the Archon Louisoix not fought to protect this world. And in so doing, laid down his life. Now that the vessel stands complete, I cannot help but wonder if it was more than mere happenstance. If it was my father's intention to guide us here. In the hopes that his guidance will see you all safely home, I name the vessel after that self-same fragment of Dalamud he delivered unto us. The Starship Ragnarok.
Okay, so you're just gonna name it after the, the Ragnarok internment hulks, which were spaceship hulks from the Dalamud moon itself, rather than after Louisoix, the man. Guess it's technically a Final Fantasy VIII reference, but also mildly like, it's like the writers want to try to have their cake and eat it too. Like, everyone thought we were gonna go to the coils, and coils were gonna become required content, as a way for everyone to see the tie-up of the end of the 1.0 storyline that 2.0, gracefully, pulled up and finished in there. But they didn't. They did this instead. So, the coils were referenced in passing, and we name it after the coil ships, but no, coil is not required.
Sorry for the wait. I got everyone you asked for, and not a one less.
Apparently, plenty of people like this Sicard guy they added in. I frankly don't care for him.
What are you all doing here?
I would have liked a, previously established character to be in that role. Like, I don't know, one of the Red Bill Sky Pirates, or if they had to be from the main storyline, I guess Artorwell, Harshvant's and Emenelane's competent brother, or maybe Hilda, or hell, Fordola. Man, I would have taken just about anybody else.
Oh, I invited them. The representatives of those tribes with religious inclinations. You've done a fine job of readying the Ragnarok, but for it to take flight, we'll of course need the power of the Mother Crystal.
You mean in order for it to get to the destination, we'll need the Mother Crystal as fuel? It can fly without the Mother Crystal. That's not a required component to make it function the Living Way.
Given its immense size, however, transporting it would be an absolute logistical nightmare, not to mention we'd need to shatter it into tiny shards for feeding to the engines. But a brilliant idea came to me. We convert the crystal's energy into forms that can transport themselves!
Oh, so you mean you could have just gotten the other Loporrits to use their creation magics to, I don't know, directly transfer it into that energy state themselves?
Thou wouldst employ summoning, or should I say its precursor, creation magics.
Care to explain for our benefit?
As you may have witnessed at Bestway's Burrow, the Loporrits are capable of creation magics, which they use to shape the moon's environment. Yet simple though they make it seem, 'tis a highly advanced and exacting art. To perform it correctly requireth that the wielder holdeth the object in his mind's eye in clearest detail.
Hence the ancients' meticulous management of concepts.
Drawing upon this art, the Ascians conceived of summoning as we know it, a derivative that replaceth the complexity of concepts with the simplicity of zealotry to make manifest a creation.
I see. By combining the Loporrit's magics and the tribe's faith, we convert the Mother Crystal into primals of purer form and greater obedience. Summoning as it was intended, one might say.
Indeed! Indeed! While Heidelin gave us the ability to use creation magics, she forbade us from using it to make anything possessed of a soul, or similar. She didn't say anything about fulfilling the desires of others, though. So, borrowing our friend's faith, we'll create deities using the Mother Crystal's power and send them to the Ragnarok!
Now, I don't know if that's that whole spiel there about, you know, being forbidden from making anything with a soul is a mislocalization or a mistranslation, or if the writers just like fell off their rockers while writing it. But creation magics cannot impart souls. Even the ancients, even Heidelin could not do that. In order for a deity to have a soul, or a creation magic to have a soul, the planet has to impart it. It's not something that, as far as we understand it, you know, without sacrificing a person to be the heart of the primal, like with Heidelin or Zodiark, you can't force a soul into an arcane entity unless you are the planet. That's like something the planet is supposed to be able to do. So the Loporrits wouldn't be able to do that anyway, so I don't know why she mentioned it, but this is a part that's about to make me super salty.
Am I the only one here concerned about the risk of being turned into a tempered minion?
Oh, right, I was getting to that. From what I've read in Sharlayan tomes, it appears the Ascians incorporated an additional nasty element into their summoning method. The fervent desire to assimilate others into one's belief. Beings thus created are instilled with the self-same desire and use their powers to enthrall people, starting with the summoner.
Bullshit, 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 bullshit!
In contrast, our creation magics, the original and the best, except no substitutes, don't incorporate any of that rubbish, so there's no risk of tempering. I mean, if the being was on the scale of Zodiac, you might feel a little tug, but I think we'll be safe enough.
So, oh yes, summoning as we've known it all along was just, you know, wrong. And all of the summoning instances that happened without Ascians teaching people how to do it, that also temper people, just so happen to be in the same vein. Oh, yes, we totally are just gonna fucking shoot the narrative in the back 22 more times and fucking ram our dicks down its throat and fucking be retarded. Just fucking try to paint Ascians as bad again and Hydaelyn as good. It's stupid. I hate this.
Truth be told, I do not understand the intricacies of this plan. But none of us would ever turn our backs on you. When the avatars of our faith ran amok, you intervened without decrying we who birthed them. Where others vilified and suppressed us, you offered understanding and friendship.
The hell I did. All of the hostile tribes I killed. I killed them. Anyone who got in my way, anyone who was about to attempt summonings, you know, anyone who took part in it or became part of the primal, I tried to kill. And so did everyone around me. Shut the fuck up, game.
In gratitude, we will share with you the true expressions of our gods. Not malevolent deities, but benevolent saviors.
But how would you even know how to summon them otherwise? If the Ascians taught them how to summon like this, then this is the only concept of the gods that they fucking know. This part is just fucking like, we're gonna make them say stuff that makes you feel good, but it doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Alright, you lot, we're heading to the ethereal sea. Stay in sight, else you're liable to get lost.
Lead the way.
As if Sicard's been down there. What the fuck?
May we have a moment?
Yeah, sure. You probably make 80 billion times more sense than all that dribble.
In anticipation of the day man might journey to the stars, we developed these.
Portable teleportation devices, one for each of you, designed to work in tandem. Press the button on one, and in a matter of moments, all 8 will activate and send their owners back to the Ragnarok. There is no telling what hazards you may encounter. If you find yourself separated or lost, please do not hesitate to use them.
Legit. Safety net.
Be safe, all of you, and come back.
Thanks, hotter, older Moonbreeder's mom.
You as well. I pray you take care.
Looks like everything is in order, so I'll go ahead and board. A few of my fellows will remain to assist with the summonings, but rest assured, the vessel won't want for competent crewing.
If you are ready, then you should board as well. Go, and Godspeed.
Yeah, I would have rather they had just said something like, oh, you know, by using creation magics, we'll make it so the primals can't temper, which I mean is essentially kind of what they said, but they had to rub in this extra bullshit that oh yeah, the Ascians made it bad. But you see, there's all sorts of fucking instances throughout the game where people summon primals or become primals that temper, or you know, take over people's minds, and you know, the people who were summoning those, you know, weren't taught how to summon. They just happened to summon, right? Like, the Ananta, the Snake Women in Stormblood. When the Garleans killed her daughter, she summoned Sri Lakshmi through a fit of emotion. And her summoning of Sri Lakshmi, which she was not taught to do by Asians, tempered, right? Then there's let's see, the time Gabu summoned Titan through sheer emotion, and that form of Titan still tempered, and tempered fucking the summoner, right? Like, you know, there's other examples too. It just makes me so mad that, like, so much of the rewrites and retcons they do in Endwalker here, like, they just bend over backwards to make everything Highland related seem like it's good or whatever, and then they, you know, they spent a whole expansion in Shadowbringers, you know, trying to convince us that the Askians, you know, are this tragic race, you know, it's a tragic thing, and they're doing what they had to do to try to get back to the, you know, the way things were. But now they're just throwing it all out the window. They're just like, moral greatness be damned. The good guys are good guys now, even though they did horrible, horrible things like fucking genocide. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. And they all have something new to say. How about that? No, wait. Maybe they don't all have something new to say. Okay, they don't all have something new to say. Whatever. Okay, yeah, so, yeah, we're out of new stuff to say. Hold on a sec. We don't want to. I didn't talk to Fortune all. Yeah. You apparently care so fucking much about your kids that you didn't even come and see them while they were in a fucking coma. Okay, anyway, prepare for actual cool stuff to start happening now. Although there will be more stuff that makes me salty. Because, like I said, the Elpis part back at level 87 a few episodes ago, that's where, you know, the narrative got shot in the back. And as you just heard me rant and rave, they're not done shooting the narrative in the back. And when I say shooting the narrative in the back, I don't just mean the Endwalker story. I mean the last fucking 10 years of the fucking game. Ridiculous. Imagine caring about a story like a whole fucking ton and playing it and enjoying it for a decade, and then they just like fucking throw half of it out the fucking window. For fucking cutie tootie rabbits and some character that you may or may not care about, because, you know, until now they weren't even a character. That would be Welcome
to the bridge, everyone! I hope you have everything, because I can't be bothered turning back.
Can you bother getting a boot up your ass?
Right then, make yourselves comfortable. We're setting off in just a moment.
It's incredible.
Looks like something straight out of Azzy's Law.
This is Fortuno. Can you hear me?
Yeah, clearer than I can hear you in the voiced cutscenes. I mean, the earlier voiced cutscenes where you were like in the room with us.
The preparations for the summonings are complete. In accordance with the 14th phase of the plan, we have moved the Ragnarok to the launch site. The gates are open. You may depart when ready.
So, are we ready?
As ready as we'll ever be. Let's get going.
Oh, come on. The burnt-out star's got more fire in its belly. Try it again, with feeling.
Oh, shut up. Have Alpha not do the honors. Nah, Clyde's gonna do it. He took the time to cross his arms and look visibly disappointed.
Engage!
Engaged!
That's an interesting launch. It's like something out of Xenogears or Xenosaga. Oh, 1.0 cutscene reference time. There's a cutscene with Silver Tour Lake that used this exact same thing you're seeing right now. These exact same visuals. But of course, they weren't flying into a spaceship. So.
That I must carry landwalkers into the sky! I cannot imagine a greater indignity!
Do not sulk so, for thy mighty winds exist not only to buffet and batter. Nay, they may serve also to thrust forth with vigor. Such is thy glory, and thus it is an occasion to rejoice. So come, let us revel!
Wasn't he like technically a kami rather than a collection of kami rather than a ritual summoning by the Red Kojin?
So long as the wind blows freely, I suppose all is as it should be in creation.
She got some nice titties.
I will render unto them a storm, that they may pierce the firmament and fly free!
They did a really bad job on her face. I know they're using, her primal model from like 2012 or whatever, or 11 or whatever. But like, she had a better looking face in Final Fantasy XI, a game from 2002. Although I guess in Final Fantasy XI she didn't exist until 2003 or 2004. 2003, because Summoner was Rise of the Zillard job. So, whatever. But, yeah. Such is the nature of the changing appearances of summons in the Final Fantasy series. Sometimes they get upgrades in appearance when they get a remake in a new title, and other times they get an appearance that makes them look like dog shit. But that's a pretty cool scene. I like that scene when I first saw it, my first time through. I wasn't as questioning of it, although I still thought it was bullshit that they basically retconned summoning, while also not really explaining, you know, how they could know how to summon the correct way.
Still in one piece? Good.
You know, just all of a sudden.
Sleeping way? Report?
All's well. Fantastic, even. Thanks to the power of those primals, the engines are roaring and we're ripping along.
All values are also within projected ranges. Time to destination is 8 carats. Perhaps 7 at a pinch.
All right. Let's go over some points of caution. Our destination, as you know, is Ultima Thule. Lest you wonder, the place is not a star so much as a patch of emptiness. That's the extent of what our equipment could determine, anyway. From what we know of Meteion, she's likely used dynamis to obfuscate her location.
So, in conclusion, we'll only know what's there when we get there.
The crew and I will see to it the ship's ready to take off at a moment's notice. We'll support the search as best we can, but it'll be your paws on the ground, assuming there is any. But everything will be fine, I'm sure. Heidelin believes in you, so you ought to believe in yourselves.
You mean believed in me? She's dead now. We killed her.
Just don't do anything I wouldn't. Like waiting too long to use those portable teleporters of yours. Personally, at the slightest sign of trouble, I'd mash the button to bits. And you should as well.
Understood. We promise to be careful.
I suggest you brace yourselves. We're about to arrive and the vessel will shake a good bit.
That was fast.
What is this? Something is... interfering with the equipment.
That's a lot of dedication to warning lights.
Greetings.
Damn. We're fucked.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
So this is Meteion.
Oh. Have you met one of my sisters?
Now, something that bugs me is, you know, we met her in the Elpis time era. In the Elpis time era, our size was reconfigured to be that of an ancient, so 3 times, you know, our current size. She went up to about an ancient's waist, so she should be slightly taller than Clyde or Urianger. But they decided to keep her looking like a little kid, assuming that she wanted to remain relative in size compared to modern day man, even though she doesn't know that modern day man is a thing. It's not a plot hole, it's just an inconsistency, and I hate it. She should be basically...
I don't remember meeting you myself, but I do know that you're from Atheris. Why have you come? All you had to do was wait. I would have delivered to you your ends.
We didn't ask for that.
I don't understand. All life is destined to end. Why choose to prolong your suffering? Effort, ambition, love, they amount to naught. Happiness, should you find it, is inevitably lost, stolen away by events beyond your control. There is no logic nor meaning in it. You think there is. Convince yourselves. But it's all a cruel accident. Come now. I speak the truth. A truth you would recognize if you looked up at the night sky.
The problem with villains like this that espouse this kind of stuff is that if they actually believed it, you know, why would they care? Why would they feel the need to wipe everything out and not just wipe themselves out first?
Unbroken emptiness. Cold, dark, and silent. Your world, like every other, is but a blemish upon its perfect fabric. Life is an anomaly. It is unnatural and cannot continue. The sooner you accept this, the easier it will be.
Just to be clear, we're not here to argue with you. We know that life is fleeting, and that in the short time we have it, we're not assured happiness.
Indeed. I've seen far more sorrow in the eyes of many I've met. I myself have plenty of regrets. And one day they'll die with me. Gone to dust with my good deeds and unfulfilled dreams.
But we accept this. That our existence may seem pointless. That sorrow, rage, and despair will always dog our heels. And we press on regardless. That is why Hydaelyn guided us here. In her boundless love for mankind, she has prepared us for this trial. And in her name, we have come for you.
Oh, fuck off! No, not in her name. We came, it was our decision. Not in her name. Fuck you. Besides, Meteion doesn't even know who Hydaelyn is.
Yes, I sense it. A burning passion like unto fury. I know it well. For the same passion once burned in many a star before yours. Suffocated and extinguished now.
I can't breathe.
You approach the bounds of my ultimatum, where emotions dictate reality, where resignation and acceptance unite to embrace the end, where those who yet valiantly cling to life cannot thrive.
That's right, Thancred can hold his breath for over 10 minutes. Now that I thought was cool. And I still think is cool. Her just showing up, trading verbal barbs with us, you know.
By the Fury.
And then basically like saying the verbal barbs aren't going to get her anywhere, and then just basically it's like, okay, I'll just kill you. That's pretty fucking fantastic.
Thancred?
Meteion has gone as well. Mayhap he awakened first and gave chase.
Everyone? It appears we are at our destination. This is Ultima Thule.
Not that we knew what to expect, but I wasn't expecting this. From atmospheric composition to ambient temperatures, all reading to within permissible range. This place is capable of supporting life.
Word.
If that's the case, then Thancred may well have gone on ahead. Let's go and have a look.
Well, from the last sequence we saw, he struck a blow at her, so...
I want the rest of you to perform a full inspection of the ship, as well as a biological scan.
But if you have any inclination for prediction, or if you've seen this before, then you know there's a little more to it than that. My heart actually sank.
So it was that the brave wayfarers arrived at last at Dream's End.
Oh, it's Hythlodaeus speaking, instead of Hades.
In following their path walked, and history written, I am made keenly aware of one truth.
Now it's Hades speaking.
Though the curtains may fall again and again, so long as others take the stage, ever shall there be more tales to tell.
Well.
So, let them bring it to a close, I say.
Oh, that was Hythlodaeus again.
Let the curtains fall upon this, the final chapter in the tale of the star.
The Sea of Stars. Ultima Thule.
Is this a dead star?
As I live and breathe, I live and breathe. Well, the environment itself shouldn't kill us.
How is it warm enough here?
Well then, let us search for Thancred while exploring the area. The ship we leave in your care.
It's beautiful. There's also those green plumes that look like, if you remember the second fight of the Alphascape against Midgard Thormer's simulacrum that Omega made, that is a telltale sign of the Dragon Star. You can even see a dragon there in the background. Well, I assume she shut off the oxygen in the ship, and that's why we couldn't breathe. Because Thancred struck a blow at her. Well, he swung at her, and then everything went black. And they're using like Greek symbols, and I wish I knew what that symbol meant, but you know, it's a strange new world, and we got these symbols. I'd look them up, but I don't even know what to look for. And we can ride our mounts here. Honestly, the only one that would make sense would be something mechanical, though, that we could, you know, have carried with us in the ship. You know, we wouldn't want to endanger more life by bringing a living mount, so. Yeah, look, we got lesser stellar dragons. The music here is very atmospheric. Guess I could be getting Mappy XP on Dragoon, but I didn't level it between recordings like I said I would. Surprised I got the interrupt on that. Talk around. The vitrified fort. That means like petrified. Something dark and mournful watching us, huh? Looks kind of like Omega Metal. But, you know, it's been like melted. Faded memory. Meteon led us to believe. Turn to ash, yet retain their form. Surely not men as we conceive of them. Yeah, it looks like the Omega Metal. And these hexagons, these elongated hexagons, they look like the flooring that we had in the lead up to the Delta Scape and the other scapes that Omega made in his little pocket dimension. Ostracon Deca Octo. Isn't that one of the worlds that Meteon did in her report back in Elpis? Do you not sense the dragons, Estinian? Oh wow, that would be that would be pretty scary. But you would probably die, you know, well before you met with Eternity, so wouldn't be that bad for that long. Chill washes over me, leaving me exhausted. Leaving me with feelings of death and anguish. You guys not see the dragons? You can't see the dragons. And Estinian's not remarking on sensing them? Okay. Well. Or, so maybe you do sense the dragons? You can see there's aetherites on the map, and I know that's a gameplay thing, but it's still hilarious to me. I would have actually very much appreciated it if there were no aetherites in this zone. Or if, like, at the very least there was only one and we brought it with us in the ship. But God forbid we make anything slightly inconvenient for MMORPG players. God forbid we make it feel like a real world. Oh, so, okay, I'm not going crazy. Your bond with Midgard-Thormer and mine with Nidhogg is what allowed us to perceive them. Well, I also kind of have a bond with Hraesvelgr. He let me use his eye that one time, you know? Yeah, dragons are aliens. They came from another star. But I guess Estinian doesn't know that. He didn't do Omega with us. But we could tell him. I wish they'd give us the dialogue option to tell him that he's right. That, yeah, that they're from another star. It's possible that, you know, we found the dragon star. Or a part of it. I guess we can chalk these aetherites up to, I don't know, maybe other planets had something like aetherites, and that's what we're going to just call them for convenience sake. I still think it's stupid. Ghosts, huh? Tola can't really see very well with her ether sight. Oh, so the others can see the dragons now. They look like Mist Dragon. Okay, so they're not completely enshrouded by Meteon?
Dragons? Here?
It's an interesting reuse of the Mist Dragon texture, because the Mist Dragon was said to be an Allegan experiment. I don't remember the exact thing, but you can read it on the Mist Dragon card that you can get from the Burn dungeon.
What you see is a memory of a world that once was.
Well, that's a cool ripple effect with her standing in the air like that.
A world suffering a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. These creatures are shadow and shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
Oh, right, because technically she can't possess feelings of her own. She needs other creatures to have the feelings first.
Our friend Thancred, where is he?
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not? Oh yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words. Huh. Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist, in like manner to the oblivion I send. I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis. Beginning with this Thancred, who came at me despite being unable to breathe. Such a simple thing, unmaking men.
In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed. Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind. What you call the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word. Survive. That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade.
Thancred is the GOAT! Love that man. In other words, he's the reason we have land to walk upon and air to breathe.
Into a place you can perceive, and where life can endure.
My graphics card is flipping out over something in the far background due to having some sort of crazy draw distance that you wouldn't normally have on console.
That you draw breath is proof that his soul lives on. For how long, however, remains to be seen.
Well then, we should hurry and tend to business. Huh?
Good effort.
It's futile. You will never reach the true me. I told you, emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work will not alter its nature. You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Meteon holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
Well, clearly she can't. She's afraid to try again, so.
I do not know. But Thancred gave his life that we might come this far. We must press on.
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
What happened to his teleporter beacon? Was it also unmade? Did not appear to be in the ship. His will was strong enough to reshape Ultima Thule that we might survive. That I might see again. His sacrifice must not be wasted. It's hard to believe Thancred was able to overcome Meteon's will. Yet here we are. Well, that the price for his victory had not been so high. No. First we find a way to make her able to be attacked. Unburdened wings. I think that E is the Sigma, right? But I don't know what the fancy looking W is. Alrighty then. Split up and gather the knowledge that we may. Very well. Say Losk. If I remember right, from one of the lore experts for Final Fantasy, one of the lore expert players anyway, all of the dragon names for these dragons here relate to loss and pain. Like if you translate the dragon naming Dixit dictionary that they came up with, 14. Rayatara, that's where we are. And the game's just gonna call this an aetheryte. Well, you know how an aetheryte would exist in a place composed entirely of dynamis? Maybe part of Thancred's sacrifice, survival will was to spawn aetherytes in addition to everything else. Komnosk. We were a proud and noble race, strength embodied. We knew only love before they came. Metal monstrosities of black and silver. No bonds of blood did they share, nor conviction did they have to guide them. A crushing defeat, never had we known such shame. Stilled now are the winds, though none could fill these wings burdened by shame. It's a synonym for shame. I can't. Words are hard. I can't say it. Ignominy. So the dragons fought with Omega's race, and we got a player there who's ruining my immersion. That's okay though. When this was new, you saw tons and tons of players anyway, so it's not like it was ever super duper immersive. I observe the lesson of stone. I shall not fly nor speak nor roar, only watch and wait and end. One yet stirreth my blood, tempteth me to raise my voice in lamentation. Omnol, the cradle of unsung dragons. No words, no songs possess the weight to describe such tragedy. I think we'll push on to maybe like an hour 20 or an hour and a half. I'm not going to try to get all the way through this zone in one recording, because one, I wouldn't be able to, and two, my videos already tell themselves to get fucked by the algorithm as it is, so. But my solution to eventually stop complaining about that is I'm going to make a second channel where I focus on algorithm pleasing videos that are more in line with shorter essay style things. Oh, it's a hatchery, but the eggs look fucked up. They led you here as well, did they? It was described to me as the source of their woes, proof of their end. I think I'm beginning to see why. It's a hatching ground. Or was. I've seen similar on Atheris. Midgard Sormer's kind must have lived and thrived in a place such as this. Viercha said his father was driven from their ancestral home by war and strife. This, then, is the fate of those who remained. Let's have a look around. Maybe these eggs have more to tell of what happened here. Gingerly lifting a large egg from the viscous mire, you peer inside and see a formless mass soaking in a pool of embryonic fluid. Your stomach turns as you return the egg to its resting place. A murky liquid has pooled inside this eggshell. The noxious photor is indicative of contamination. Inside the shattered egg, you find the remains of an unborn dragon. The body has already begun to decompose. The gelatinous, half-dried membrane covering the corpse suggests it failed to emerge. The stench of these eggs is as fierce as any weapon, whether there were winds to carry it away. This egg appears to have been broken from the inside out. Perhaps the dragonette within succeeded in hatching. What's this? I thought all the eggs had been ruined. If the dragonette was indeed hatched, there's no sign of it here, or its sire for that matter. We should look for them. You start with the cliff tops and I'll search the plains. And by the way, if you didn't know the word photor, it's a variation on the word fetor, or fetor. And it just basically means a super strong offensive stench, which was easy enough to pick up on from the context clues. But I missed that word my first time through. I was skim reading, still in shock, and a bit sad that they just kind of unceremoniously killed Thancred. And there's no time for mourning because we gotta press on and kill Meteon. Bit of a shock, really. Malformed dragonette. It looks like a really tiny Vouvre or whatever from Sea of Clouds. But yeah, that's not how a dragonette's supposed to look right off the bat. So. Wonder what went wrong. Maybe stagnant aether or something? The wrong type of ether? Or too much dynamis? Bereaved dragon. Suppose they will tell us. The boisterous howling hath been quieted. By thy hand, I presume. Yeah, I killed a baby. Perhaps some eggs within Omnol are indeed mine. If life within one did quicken, the beast thou hast slain may be of my blood. Yet I do not recognize it, twisted and malformed as it is. It's kind of cold. Not a dragon in truth, but a reminder of our failure, a testament to our shame. Explain. They descended from the heavens, cold, heartless machines, and with them rode war and death. With fire and fury, rage and rancor, we gave answer. It was a long and bloody battle, but only the beginning. Untold chaos and destruction swept over the star. In the end, the invaders were victorious. But when they looked upon their prize, they deemed it unfit for requisition. We were abandoned to our ruin. The survivors sought to put away their shame, to rebuild, a futile effort. In purest soil, replete with ether, did we once cultivate our nesting grounds. But our lands were barren, and any eggs nurtured in such desolation were fated to rot. Few survived to hatch emerge as abominations. We shall have no new progeny. But there are dragons among you capable of journeying to other stars. That there are. Many would make the attempt, each bearing a clutch of eggs. The richest stars were home to the harshest rulers, and the arrival of dragons incited contests for supremacy. When the fires faded, the wars lost and won, they too were reduced to ash and waste. 'Tis the curse of those who seek life, to be drawn into conflict, to conquer or be conquered. A vicious cycle we now choose to break. We tire of conflict, of everything. We wait now in sweet, merciful silence, free from strife and suffering, still as stone. Guess the dragon stopped listening, and Justinian picked up on it. A test of will. Guess we could teleport down there to save some time, since we're already at an hour 10. Don't ask me how this place has a live stream to teleport through. Thancred really is the GOAT. Sort of. Could we hop back in the spaceship and fly over to another part of it? I mean, the spaceship still works. An invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of this island. It vanished only to reappear above me and fall at my feet. I would not be too quick to presume that what we see outside this space is as it appears. The ship's instruments failed to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it's too risky to attempt flying to another island. What Meteon told us before, that emotions dictate reality here, might be the key, but I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge to lead us to safety. So what you're saying is, we've no way forward. Sure we do. Where there's a will, there's a way. Perhaps it's not Meteons, but the dragons that hold us here. I mean, we did tell the Scions how Meteon works, right? That she focuses through the emotions of others and accepts them as her own, and that's how she manipulates Dynamis. Or is the key to her being able to manipulate it. Persuasion is not the answer. Meteon meant to make us then and there on the Ragnarok, and she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She conceded it was strong enough to overpower the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Thule, and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again in like manner, by overpowering the prevailing emotions. Wasn't that a train of logic, though? 'Twas Ultima Thule's architect Meteon herself, against whom Thancred did pit himself in a clash of wills. Though I marked no leader among them as such, I did chance to encounter a dragon possessed of despair far more potent than most. Potent enough, mayhap, to dictate the course of others, and thus their domain to follow. He spoke but few words, carefully chosen, their tone and timbre alone threatening to rend my heart in twain. Challenging his desire to remain may allow us to alter the island upon which we stand. Alas, I fear my vaunted rhetoric availed me not against his calcifying heart, but mayhap one of you will fare better. All-End, they call him in the dragon tongue. Huh. Or perhaps it was I-End, but... Either way, it's pretty bleak. Even without being properly translated. I don't know the dragon language either, so there's a lot of in-jokes in the text or in references that I'm not going to be able to point out. Sorry. In the end, though, none of them matter enough to really change what's good or bad about the expansion. Like, it's neat that they're there, and I know that Anonymous pointed, like, all of them out when he streamed this, but, like... So you can find them if you're interested, but, frankly, I don't give a damn enough to care about that small detail here in the 11th hour. Stellar Shelled Dragon. Try saying that 10 times fast. I guess it's a lowercase L, so it's Alind. Alind, or whatever.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this. So, waiting to die like all the others, are you?
Our pride is crushed and our souls corrupted. The winds are stilled and the heavens offer no comfort. There is nothing left of our kind, or for our kind. Our long lives accursed as we await the end. Still as stone we shall become.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind.
Ever will a sanguine ocean await us. Ever will retribution's wheel turn. And so, on the last of my pride as a dragon, I break free of this wheel. The flames of hatred, you say?
Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict.
Hell yeah, Estinian, tell that to Charlene.
No. You must be willing to confront it. To stare into the face of your foe, and see yourself in him. Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity. And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Oh, Meteon.
Estinian!
Stay back! Theirs is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
No! Not Estinian too!
But we got wind to blow the stench away.
There's a wind.
He's opened the way for us. Sacrificed himself to remake this place, like Thancred did.
Tears shed for Estinian.
Alphino.
Nobody batted an eyelash once we found out what happened to Thancred.
Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
Well, I suppose, at the very least, that, you know, Alphino spent an entire expansion alongside Estinian. Expansion and a half. So, you know, he's got every right to well up. But I'm really surprised that Y'shtola or Urianger didn't. Neither of them shed a tear for Thancred. Perhaps that's not in their character, but yeah, it just makes them seem inhuman. Particularly Y'shtola. Urianger at least has the excuse of being mildly autistic. Apparently, if you look out into the stars, like I think maybe it's that one or another one around here if you look out, but it's like a reference to Final Fantasy 13, like one of the dead worlds out there, like you can see. I think more instruments got added into the area music. Could be wrong, but I think there are. Ostrakhan Tria. Powerful gale is delivered you to another ion. The other sign should arrive before long. Imagine if they didn't. Imagine if the wind could only carry one of us. lifted us higher, that's for sure. You can see the spaceship over there in the top left-hand corner. Well, nice to know that someone's not forgetting about Thancred. We must press on, as we already said before. Someone at least shed a tear for Thancred? Change in our surroundings. Perhaps this is the memory of an altogether different world. It would be prudent to learn more of it. Tread carefully, lest we lose our footing on this sand. Now look below. It's like so bright down there. Up above, there's this like dark, burned out planet. It looks like got some weird blob with a halo. Were it not for the violet crystal embedded in its surface, it would appear as ordinary stone. A curious script hath been etched upon them. Alas, this is not a language with which I am familiar. Why would you recognize an alien language? That's just, you know. Well, dragons can't write without thumbs, so, you know. Wend its way towards a similar end. Okay, so I'm gonna go explore it. Dora the Explorer. Okay, look, other one. We got this tentacle monster that we've seen in the Omega simulations. And Drifting Ia. Ghostly figure. Palace of the Dead music. Hail, travelers. This is a most unexpected occurrence. Is this your home? Indeed it is. Ah, forgive me. I had forgotten an exchange of introductions is expected when first meeting those with whom one is unacquainted. Looks like he's made out of, like, gel. When the vibration of vocal folds was still required to convey our thought and intention, Ia, I believe, was the pronunciation used when referring to our people. Though it is not entirely applicable given our present state, you are welcome to use this appellation. As for nomenclature to address my individual person, I believe it would be pronounced Kof-Kuj? Kood? I don't know. Kof-Kuj. With the Ia. We have encountered beings that communicate intermittently through thought, but never one that is wholly without voice. I presume we are having this conversation via the medium of ether, or dynamis, as this place is diffused with vast quantities of it. Fascinating in either case. Like yourselves, we Ia are ether-based life forms. Therefore, it may be surmised that your bodies are of comparable biological composition to those we once possessed. I have a number of queries regarding your subjective perception of the five senses: sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell. In total, I have prepared 198,712,180,827. That's a rather lot, isn't it? Ah, my apologies. I have omitted a great many details necessary to understand the nature of my request. Though we dispensed with our corporeal vessels long ago, we have rediscovered a need for the flesh, and have endeavored to recreate our erstwhile forms. However, all pertinent records have been lost due to the passage of time. Take, for example, the nervous system. It is well within our power to recreate, but we have no frame of reference for sensations once experienced by our people, which may comprise our ability to interact with our physical environment. And the reason you need to regain corporeal forms? Why, to bring an end to our existence, of course. Though need is perhaps too strong a word, it would be a simple matter to unmake ourselves through use of etheric exsanguinators, but such a death seems inadequate. The traditionalists among us believe proper death requires an inescapable sense of impermanence in one's final moments, an experience found only with bodies of flesh. We should very much like to hear more of your plans. In exchange, we will answer any questions you have to the best of our ability. Such an exchange of information would indeed prove useful. Very well. To ensure efficacious exchange, I hereby invite you to our home. Yes, the abode of the Ia, where we traditionalists prepare for our demise. I presume your consent to answer questions is indicative of a tacit approval of our plans, in which case your cooperation is greatly appreciated. I must caution you, however, to be mindful of the Ia wandering the desert. Their desire for bodies of flesh could be described as overzealous. Now, if you would follow me. Though I fail to see why a civilization so seemingly advanced would choose to unmake all they have created. Well, Y'shtola, you see, there's a parable or a phrase. Some famous author said once. It was, the man who realizes he is on the wrong path first and makes the decision to turn back is actually the most progressive of all. Right? Clearly, they went down the wrong path, and so they choose now to go back. Of course, you know, why they want to die is still up in the air, but perhaps they feel that dying would be preferable to living forever or something. Pretty simple story hook. It's in a lot of our stories surrounding immortality and the curse that it would otherwise be unless you were surrounded by other immortals that could share in your company. Luminions! Hey, it's Graz from Final Fantasy XI. Except they look worse. They vibrate, they shake too much, and their chips are kind of off. You probably don't even make the sound effects when you hit them. But I'll take any Final Fantasy XI references I can get. And there will be more. But as for now, we are over an hour and a half, and I don't want to, go any further for this recording. So, thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day. And next time we will continue on with this beautiful, ridiculous ending to the story. So please look forward to it. Thank you again. Stay safe.